That's right. Let's jam out a little bit. Welcome back, string picking guys and gals out there. So glad to have you here. Hope this video finds you well. And today's episode, sucky Trem system thingies. A lot of you string pickers out there probably noticed something missing. The wiggle stick. That's right. Did not have the wiggle stick, the tremolo bar, the whammy bar, the whatever you want to call this, was not on this guitar. And there is a reason. This Trem sucks. I love this guitar. For a lot of you that are new to the channel, like and subscribe by the way, have not seen this guitar before. This is a Westcreek Guitarist. Very nice budget guitar. I won this from the Fret Not guys over at the Fret Not channel at Fret Not 1. For those of you that want to get in on their giveaways, they give away a guitar every week. Very, very cool guitar. Made very minimal mods to it. Put a string bar on it to kind of help with the tension against those rolling string trees, and a set of locking tuners. The tuners I didn't really like that came on it, so I put those on there. And that's about the gist of it. That's about all I did to this guitar. However, I have been looking for a new tremolo for this guitar. Now, I had an Ibanez RG370DX. It had the Edge 3 tremolo system in it. I played that guitar. It handled all of my 80s songs. You know, in the 80s, everybody was holding them guitars up by the whammy bar and just shaking them like I don't know what. When I play 80s tunes, I like to have a floating trem. Now, this one will float. I can pull it back some and I can dive with it. But every single time I touch that whammy bar, it falls out of tune. My lesson that I learned from the Edge 3 tremolo system was this: the materials that your trem system is made out of matter a lot. If you get one that doesn't have replaceable knife edges, and it's made from the pot metal, they call it, you know, where they like put a little of this in there and put a little of that in there and then forge this thing and make you believe it's awesome. And then the first time you grab a whammy bar and you do a deep dive with it, a hunk of metal breaks off of that knife edge. Your tuning stability is gone.
Ooh, no.
Completely gone. So then you have to go out and spend $200 to $300 to get a replacement for that. Now, there are brands out there, string pickers, that are budget that you can get to replace, and some really good quality ones at that. I think that Geiger makes a bridge that will fit in this. The floating tremolo that they make is just a hair bit bigger in width, but it wouldn't really matter to me to just get in here and kind of route a little bit more out. But instead of going through all of that, we are going to go through this. And why do you ask? Because I'm lazy. I mean, look at me. Come on. You know, like, is this not what you see in the dictionary when you look up lazy? You know, I mean, that was my good side, by the way. This, ladies and gentlemen, is called a Trem stopper. This is made by a company called Alnico. Those of you that were here in my last video will know that I had my son's BC Rich Warlock in the studio, and I went through a ton of stuff to get that thing back to even better than the first time he ever played that guitar. Now, it had a good tremolo system on it, and I looked in that video to make sure that the knife edges were good. However, upon further inspection, the posts were a little bit worn, causing it to drop tuning. Whenever you pulled back, it stayed sharp. When you went down, it would come up to pitch, but when you pulled back, it would stay sharp. So we have this. This is a Trem stopper. It is spring-loaded. You can adjust the tension with this little screw right here, that thumb screw bolt and this thumb bolt. And basically what that does is rest right up against the block on your tremolo. When you pull back and you have a problem with it, it will bring it back to pitch. If you mash down on the tremolo and your notes are flat, then all you got to do is tighten the claw just a little bit and then put this in behind that block. And whenever you use that, it will bring it right back to pitch. I was so impressed with how his guitar acted after I did this that I had to get another one. So I got one. And I am going to put it on my old buddy Rocky here. Rocky is an exceptionally well guitar. This thing, guys, this is my first Westcreek guitar ever. I am a fan. I am a huge fan. These pickups, amazing. You can breathe a pinch harmonic on this thing. I mean, breathe one. And it's just a great sounding guitar. It just kills me that I can't do the tremolo. Now, I'm not wanting to pick this thing up by the tremolo bar. I'm not wanting to do none of that. I would just like to have some control over that bridge whenever I see that the song might call for that. So that is what we're going to do today. I put one in my son's. He came over. You guys seen the video. After that video, that boy laid on that wiggle stick hard. Like, I mean, he, short of just laying it in the floor and standing on it. And then after 30 minutes of playing and beating that thing to death, I got it, checked the tuning, perfectly in pitch. And that is saying a lot without a locking nut on his guitar. Well, this guitar does not have a locking nut. It has locking tuners, but that does not help at all for tunes. Well, it might help with tuning stability more so than your average tuner, but it is not a locking nut. So today we are going to go to the bench behind us and install this. For time's sake, string pickers, I have already taken the cover off of the back. We are now going to take the spring out right here. Now, I have got some sponge laid up and under these springs because I did not want any kind of ring out in these springs. I've got a fix for that as well, and I will show you just here in a second of what we're going to do. I have some thinner sponge that we are going to put on the underside of the back plate for this. So we're going to leave that out and take care of that here in just a minute. It has an adhesive back to it, so that helps out a whole lot. This is what we need to do. Let's go ahead and get our trim stop out here. And this is what we're looking at. That is basically it. It is going to move with some kind of pressure. What I like to do is I like to tighten this up as far as it will go, because I rarely ever pull up on mine, as opposed to my son. He pulls up on his quite a bit. So I left his a little tight, but not so tight that it wouldn't move. So we've got that took care of, and then we have adjustment back here with another thumb screw, and we're going to take care of that just here in a second. And it also comes with an Allen wrench and 4 of the screws that goes in there. These screws, I recommend a number 1 4-way bit, because this material that these screws are made out of is horrible. You will wind up stripping one of these out if you use anything bigger than a number 1 or real fine 4-way bit. So we've got those set to the side. And the first thing we're going to do is we need to mark where this thing is going to set in this bridge. Now it's going to be up just a little from there. So we need to kind of gauge where it's going to be at, which I think right in there is going to be good. So we may have to back it out just a little bit. Yeah, I think that right there is going to be the trick. So another thing that we need to do is we need to move a spring over. So we're going to pull this spring out. It's trying to fight with me there for a little bit. And we're going to take this spring and put it up here. Now, that one is in place. This one, we're going to leave it where it's at, because I think that it, for the most part, is going to be out of the way. We may have to move it to get one of these screws in. From here, we need to look exactly where this plunger is going to touch this bridge at, because what you don't want to do is let go and then have that big, huge clanging noise. And I've got a little piece of Velcro that's going to stop that from happening in case it ever does. So we need to mark it right there and move that to the side. And we're going to put just this little bit of padding right there. And now that is going to rest right against that padding. Yeah, that'll do just fine. What I do recommend with this is start pre-drill the hole. You don't want to go super deep. We are just starting the screw into the hole. That's all that we are doing. A small drill bit will take care of that job. And that way you have it marked where it is going to be. And the next thing you're going to want to do is you are going to want to widen out the holes in this, because for some reason the screws that they send you with this, these holes are not threaded. And when you try to thread these holes and go through to the wood, then guess what happens? That's where you get your rounded 4-way screw heads. We've taken it outside, looked for a bit that was just about the size of this screw, just maybe a hair under. And we have fixed the problem. So now it will go through without trying to strip it out. Let's go ahead and get this one back here on the other side. Now, a lot of people would probably argue, oh, you're not supposed to drill those out, you know, but nothing makes me madder than installing something with cheap screws that'll just strip out. It still threads. There's just enough meat there to grab onto them threads as they go through that aluminum. But these heads are so small on these screws that any kind of resistance whatsoever is going to cause you to round them heads out. But being careful enough to get it in there, get it in the right position, get everything looking good. I was really surprised. I bought one of these for my son's guitar just to try it out, just to see how much of a difference it would make. Sort of a review, because I have seen these before. Now, I have installed the ones that will not let you pull up at all. It is a dead stop against it. It'll let you dive, but it won't let you pull up. I've installed plenty of those. But after installing the one that I got for his guitar and seeing how well it actually did, I had to try it. I had to try it for this guitar. That's all there was to it. I just had to know how well it was going to do for this guitar. So right now we need to make adjustments. So I'm going to get you to where you can see the tuner here. Okay, string pickers, I sped this up 20 times because for some reason this trim stopper did not like this bridge, and it took a lot of adjusting to find that sweet spot, which did not help with the ratings on this thing, but actually in the end ended up working out really good. I really like it now. And there you have it, string pickers. This guitar has been a hardtail guitar for quite some time because I simply could not touch that whammy bar without it going out of tune. So I never did play the whammy bar as much on this guitar as I wanted to. Now all I have to do is put it in there and I can use it and it stays in tune. Now on the Alnicove trim stopper, my ratings are this: 2.5. And I'm going to tell you the reason why. Now I want you to understand that it is half good, half bad. Good is in the sense that it's an easy install. You can do the measurements, you can do all that stuff, but all you got to do is make sure that the guitar is tuned to where it's supposed to be, where it has been, and you place it there, you mark each one of the holes, you put it into place, and you make the adjustments with the little thumb wheels that come on it. However, finding the sweet spot. Off camera, I probably worked over an hour to get this thing right. I would get it dialed in, get it tuned up and everything, and then I'd start playing and I'd lay into the whammy bar a little bit. It'd come back up to pitch, everything was fine. But when you did a deep dive or pull back, it went completely out. So I ended up having to get in there and tighten that thing up almost all the way. My opinions on it are this: if you're a beginner, run. Run, run, run. Run like Forrest Gump. I mean, take off. If you're an intermediate player, know what you're getting into. Know it's going to be time consuming. Now, I installed one of these, and this may be the difference. My son had a floating tremolo on his BC Rich Warlock. Now, when I mean floating, it had a deep cavity under the bridge. That thing would lay all the way back. This one does not. This will go down just a little bit and it'll stay there. Pretty much about level. Not really considered floating, but I do like to keep it up a little bit for those pullbacks whenever I get the chance to. So that might have been the reason why it was so easy to put together for his, and for it to work as easy. It very, very minimal playing with to get it right. This one, no way. This thing was not having it. I think a lot of it has got to do with the posts that are in this and how small they are. It's just a janky Westcreek. If you're watching, which I highly doubt, but if you ever do see this video, do something about your bridges. If you're going to have a whammy bar on a guitar, go the money, put a Geiger or something in there, route out a bigger hole to where it can float a little better. However, it did the trick. It did the trick. Now I can use the whammy bar, and I spent like $7.99, I think is what it was, maybe $8.99. I can't remember now. You can find them on Amazon. Just type in Trem stopper, and there's a whole list of them. And if you just look for the one that looks like that, they even have double ones. One that has two, but it has on the same plate for a lot more stability. So yeah, it was definitely a big help for this guitar. Now I get to scream on all those 80s lead tones, and stuff like that. I'm not going to be dangling this guitar by the wiggle stick, that's for sure. But, if I need to use it, I can use it. So, guys, that's all I got for you today. I am ever so happy that you guys have come in and hung out with me here at Obscene Studio. I do so appreciate each and every single one of you for subscribing, for liking videos, for leaving me the comments down in the comment section. I always look forward to reading those. I always look forward to replying. As always, I hope that you and yours are having the most blessed day ever, and I pray that God is with you all. Until next time, later.